So the other thing, and we addressed some legislation to this effect, but we can't have these predators simply bounce from one job to the next. Now, it seems to me that in this particular case, Mr. Beckett, right, is his name, is a small community. They knew what was going on here. To go back and hire him and then subsequently bring him in as a motivational speaker, I can't think of anything more offensive. And you have to take a good, hard, deep look in the mirror and figure out what in the world the Department of Agriculture is going to do to make sure that never, ever, ever happens again. You could go down to Office Max or Best Buy and get a piece of software off the shelf and create a little database and say, this is the do not hire, do not interact list. You can do that for about 50 bucks, okay? I don't want to hear about any more excuses. And I don't want the Department of Agriculture, why don't they blaze the trail? Why don't they, you know, let's actually have them lead in this area rather than deal with this for 40 years. I don't ever want to have to call you up here again, but I do want to know that you're leading the way. But you're not going to prove that until you actually do it. We hear too many people say, oh, my stats are good, and I did 100% within the time frame and everything that, but the evidence shows to the contrary. So that's what I hope we do accomplish. And lastly, as we gavel down here, particularly to Ms. Rice, thank you for the bravery that you've shown to be here and do this. This is not a dream come true testifying before Congress. But I hope you do know how inspirational you are to a lot of women, and you represent a lot of voices that are quiet and silent, and they're watching on their computer or TV. And I hope when you go back and visit with your husband that there's satisfaction in that. It's helpful to us, and we want to be part of that solution, and I know you do too. And Ms. Donnelly, thank you as well for your leadership on this.
Mr. Chairman, would you just reiterate what I said about making sure that she's protected? Because I want to make it clear that we're on the same page.
There is no daylight between what Mr. Cummings is saying and what I'm saying as the chairman of this committee too. On behalf of all of the members, we will go to the end of the earth to protect you and the other women that have gone through this. But don't be bashful in picking up that phone and letting us know. It will be answered, and we will respond. And to those in management and in other positions, I'm telling you what, we will use every power we possibly can from this pulpit to make sure that they are treated with dignity and never have to go through that again in any way, shape, or form. You will see more subpoenas and more hearings than you can possibly imagine if we hear one thing about any sort of reprisal in any way, shape, or form. I can't say that strongly enough. This has been a good hearing. I appreciate the four of you taking time and testifying today. Last thing, Mr. Leonard, within 2 weeks, I expect that Mr. Cummings' letter, the letter that we jointly did, gets responded in its totality. 2 weeks. The committee stands adjourned.